So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the complete Marvel SH Figuarts ever made by Tamashii Nations Bandai when they started off with their line in 2013. So not in any particular order, but I'm first going to go through the solo movies and then move on to the team-up ones. So I'm going to start off with Iron Man, the movie that kicked things off for the MCU. Even though this wasn't the first SH Figuarts made, they had the classic Mark III. And they also made the Mark III suit in other color variants, including a black and gold version, as well as the blue stealth color. They also released the Mark II from this line, which was the all silver, essentially the prototype to Mark III. Next we have Iron Man 2, and we had the Mark IV, which was the first time we saw a Tony Stark head sculpt for a Iron Man armor. This included the box of donuts, and the first time we saw a non-Iron Man action figure, and that was the War Machine Mark I. Then they also included the Mark VI in this line, and again this wasn't the only color variant, as they included the Mark VI in the black version. They later also released the Mark V, which included the briefcase. And to complete the Iron Man series, we had Iron Man 3 figures, first with the classic Mark 42, which was almost the all gold suit. We also had a Iron Patriot. This was actually re-released in 2020, and for the first time we saw a Tony Stark action figure. This one included the base, and they also re-released a 2019 version. We also got the Mark 22, known as the Hot Rod. And we got the Iron Man Mark 20, the Python suit. So now we move on to the Captain America Civil War movie. We have Captain America himself. And this one included for the first time a Steve Rogers head sculpt. We also got the Iron Man Mark 46. And here's a photo of them paired up together. We also got a Ant-Man figure. This one included a mini version of Ant-Man. And then we got another War Machine. This was the Mark III. And to complete the Civil War set, we got a Black Panther action figure. And next we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 line, with one of their main characters, Star-Lord. They also had the double pack of Rocket Raccoon and a baby Groot. And here is them paired up together. And next we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this was the second time they released a Ant-Man figure. A year later they also released the Wasp. And they also had a double pack, which was the Ant as well as Ant-Man himself. We also got a Thor Ragnarok line. So they included 2 action figures for this line, with Thor himself, as well as the Hulk. Of course, both of these characters were not in Civil War. And now for Doctor Strange. So they had Dr. Stephen Strange himself. Spider-Man Homecoming. So we got a Spider-Man action figure in the original suit with plenty of accessories. We also got the homemade suit as well. And this was also released in a double pack, which included the Iron Man Mark 47. The Spider-Man sequel, Far From Home. So they re-released the original Spider-Man suit. And then they also included the upgraded suit. And this one, of course, inspired from the first appearance of Spider-Man in the comics. And we also got a third figure, and that was Spider-Man the Stealth Suit. Then it was Captain Marvel. And we got a Captain Marvel herself, which included a Carol Danvers head sculpt. And for the first time away from the MCU, we got Marvel's Spider-Man, which included 2 figures from the Gameverse. We had Spider-Man the Advanced Suit, as well as the Spider-Man Anti-Oct suit. And now for the team up movies with the Avengers. And for this line, we only got one figure, and that was the Iron Man Mark 7. Next, we have the Avengers Age of Ultron, and this was the first time they started to build up the Avengers team, starting off with a Iron Man Mark 43, and then our second Captain America, the first one that was released. Then for the first time, we saw a Hulk figure. Then they also released a second Iron Man from this line, the Iron Man Mark 45. And then for the first time, we also got to see Thor. And we got our second War Machine, the War Machine Mark II. We also got the Hulkbuster. This was known as the Mark 44. And our first villain for SH Figuarts, it was Ultron. And later on, we also got Black Widow. And to complete the original Avengers team, we got Hawkeye. And now for their biggest line to date, the Avengers Infinity War. So they had a second Star-Lord. And they also released a Doctor Strange, this time under the title Infinity War, of course. We also got the Infinity War Spider-Man with the spider legs. And our third Steve Rogers Captain America figure. Then the nanotech came to Figuarts with the Iron Man Mark 50. And we got a Thanos. They also released Black Widow. And for the second time, the follow-up to the Civil War version, a Black Panther. Then for the first time ever, they had a Bucky figure. Of course, we're all still waiting for a Winter Soldier version. And then we got our much improved Hulk from the Age of Ultron line. Then we got our second Rocket Raccoon. And we also got a Hulkbuster as well. This one, of course, worn by Bruce Banner. Then for the first time, we got a Falcon. And also we got a much improved Thor from the Age of Ultron line. They also gave us another nanotech. This one was known as the Nano Weapon Set 1 for the Mark 50. This included a stand and a box for the accessories. And they released the War Machine Mark III. And the same, they included a stand with the box. Then we got one half of Thanos' daughter, Nebula. And we finally got to see Scarlet Witch, which of course many of us waited from the Age of Ultron line. They also released a second version of the Black Panther from the Infinity War, known as the Vibranium suit. And finally, the Avengers Endgame. We got our second Thanos, this time of course with the full armor and blade. We got our third Ant-Man figure, this time for the first time, a Scott Lang head sculpt. And one of the first releases was also Black Widow. They also released a Ronin figure. And for the fourth time, a Captain America. We also got the Nano Weapon Set 2 this time for the Iron Man Mark 50. And another classic, the Iron Man Mark 85. And then we got to see Hawkeye again. Of course, he was missing from Infinity War. And we also got the Professor Hulk in the time travel suit. Then they released the final battle figures with Thor. And they released the War Machine Mark IV. And now for the figures that have been announced and will be released this year. Continuing with the Avengers Endgame, we will get a rescue figure, the Mark 1. This will also include a Pepper Potts head sculpt. We'll get our second Iron Man Mark 85, known as the Final Battle version, with a Tony Stark head sculpt, as well as another Captain America, the Final Battle, with a Steve Rogers head sculpt. And we'll also get a Spider-Man Instant Kill mode with a Peter Parker head sculpt. And for the second time, we'll get a Captain Marvel. We'll also see another Captain America from Endgame, the Cap vs. Cap version. And now for the Avengers. And for the first time, they have announced a Loki figure. And now we move on to the upcoming Black Widow movie. So we have Black Widow herself. And they also announced a Taskmaster. And away from the MCU, we have the Japanese Toei Spider-Man from the 1978 show. So that was every single Marvel SH Figuarts ever released and announced. Who was your favourite and who are they still missing? Also, if you'd like to see the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Final Battle figure reviews this month, please stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you soon.